and they weren't able to manage those things missed out on getting this particular job. So I wanted to let you guys know that it's actually something tangible, something that you can see, and something that happens to people all the time. It happens to people all of the time. So that's an example of how it goes. So I want to jump into the question of the day. We're about the halfway mark. Everybody that listens to the show now, if this is your first time tuning in, excuse me, if this is your first time tuning in, thank you very much for coming. Welcome to the 800 Credit Score Man Show. I encourage you to go back and listen to the previous shows here on the podcast at Spreaker.com or at iTunes or on SoundCloud. You can catch me on all three of those and more to come as well. So I want to thank you guys. I want to jump into the question of the day. And the question of the day really is two questions. I think they go hand in hand. So, it's my show. So I decided I would do both questions today. And so the first question comes from Brandon. Brandon is out of Illinois. And he asks, how often should I check my credit report? And I want to say to you, Brandon, as often as you like. No shorter than every 4 months for sure. And I'll tell you the little strategy behind that. I actually, and with the free service, if you use a Credit Karma, Quizzle, or Credit Sesame, somebody like that, you can check it as often as you like. I would definitely check it, on a monthly basis, with one of those free services. And the reason I told you, once every 4 months, because I use a strategy with www.annualcreditreport.com. That's where each and every one of us can get our credit reports for free from each of the three credit bureaus, TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian. You can get it for free once on a 12-month rolling basis. So on a 12-month rolling basis, and there's three of them, that's every 4 months. And that's the way I check mine through them. Those are the absolutely official. It's granted to us from the Fair Credit Act that we're able to, get access to our credit report. So I check mine there 3 times a year, every 4 months or so. And that's how I do it. But then I have a service. I use Credit Karma. Again, they're not associated with the show, but I like their service. I use the app, and I check mine whenever I feel like it. I check it on a weekly basis for sure. And as a matter of fact, on the 28th of September, I looked at my credit report, and I saw that I had 2 transactions on my credit report, 2 inquiries. Now, I haven't applied for anything, and I had 2 inquiries on my credit report, and this was just a couple of days ago. So I automatically went to look to see who is inquiring on me. Now, there was no telephone number, but there was the name of a company, and there's an address there, and I've already started my investigation to see who are these people. So I told you guys before about inquiries. Inquiries will affect your credit score negatively. So my credit score actually went down 6 points. I had 2 inquiries, and it went down 6 points. So I want to see who in the world is checking on my credit. And I didn't authorize anybody to do it, so I'll be disputing those for myself, and I'll probably let you guys know how they came out. And so basically, I'm my own fraud protection as far as I'm concerned when it comes to that, because I check mine on a weekly basis. And I would encourage you guys, if you're signed up with a service like that, to check it periodically, again, once a month at least. But every 4 months for sure, if you use www.annualcreditreport.com. Use them. Do not Google that. If you Google it, you're going to come up with 50 different companies that are close in name, and eventually you're going to end up paying for it. This is totally free. www.annualcreditreport.com. You guys go there and check your credit report. And I suggest you pick TransUnion the first time. The next time, pick Equifax, and then the third time you pick Experian, or whichever way you want to do it. But it's not necessary to get all 3 of them at the same time. Not necessary to actually get that. And so what I thought that this question went hand in hand with was a question that came from Shakina. Shakina's out of Indiana, and she says, when is my credit score updated? So that's a very good question, Shakina. Your credit score is actually updated on a monthly basis. So if you were going directly to, TransUnion or one of the three credit bureaus, they're going to update on a monthly basis. It might be at the end of the month, it may be at the beginning of the month, but they're going to do it once on a monthly basis. Now, I just mentioned Credit Karma to you guys. Credit Karma updates their credit bureaus every 7 days. Let's see, I think Credit Sesame updates their credit bureau every 14 days. And then there's a company, Credit.com. They update every 14 days. That's new for them. They used to be once a month. And so now they're 14 days, they update. Now, when you say update, you go on there. It won't be necessarily anything new on there. If you made a payment, and it's been a couple of weeks, that may show up, with a reduced balance or something of that nature. If your balance isn't exactly what, your credit card company says, don't freak out. Long as it's not off by, $1,000 or whatever, don't freak out about it, because again, the credit bureaus only update once a month. So if you make your payment on, the 18th of the month and they update it on the 15th, then it's not going to show up again for the next month. So don't freak out about that at all when it comes to that. And I want to just say thank you both. Thank you, Brandon. Thank you, Shakina, for your questions. Brandon actually had about 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 questions. So Brandon probably will be revisiting the show. He'll probably be the question of the day again at some point in the future. But I do appreciate it. And like I asked you guys before, contact me with your questions and you can be a part of the show. Brandon and Shakina are definitely a part of the show today. And I would appreciate it if you guys would send me some more questions. And so you can be a part of the show as well. I will answer your question directly to you, however you contact me, whether that's via email, which is 800creditscoreman@gmail.com. If you contact me on Facebook, my fan page is 800 Credit Score Man there. Please go to my page, like my page. I am on Instagram as 800 Credit Score Man. And then on Twitter, I'm at Credit Score _Man on Twitter. Get at me at any one of those spots. Get at me there, and I will answer your question directly. I'll let you know prior to the show if you will be part of the show as far as the question of the day, and we'll be able to have a conversation on one of those platforms. So thank you again, and let's jump right back into some hardcore examples. I teased earlier this week about some hardcore examples. I wanted to give you something that might wake you up to realizing that your credit does matter. The name of the title of this show is Credit Matters. So I want to give you yet another example. And I want to first, before I give you the example with the money, I want to talk about car insurance. So another one of the things that affects your credit score is your car insurance. And I know, again, like with employment, you're looking at your phone and you're listening and you're like, what's car insurance have to do with, or my credit score has to do with car insurance? Well, let me tell you, car insurance companies are also pulling your credit bureau or pulling your credit report, and they want to see what your credit worthiness is like. So to them, if you have a higher credit report, in their mind, they're thinking this person is more responsible, if you will. So if you're driving around, they're thinking this person is more responsible, so they don't have to pay as much for their car insurance. So you can have the same car, live in the same hood, drive the same distance, and you could pay more because your credit score is lower. Now, that's a shame in itself, but that's the way that they work. So that's part of it. And I'm not saying that, it's going to change your credit. It's going to change your payment by $50 or $100 or whatever it is. I don't know what that amount is, but I do know that you will pay a higher insurance premium just because you have a lower credit score. So while we're on car insurance, let's jump right into what a car will cost you. And this is one that I think is a very stark difference, what a car would cost you. So a person with good credit, and I teased this a little bit on Facebook, and if you contact me at 800creditscoreman@gmail.com, I will absolutely tell you, what car this was and what company and all that stuff. But I'm not going to do it on the air. So let's take this example. So a car that's $23,000 is going to be financed over 66 months. 66 months. So $23,000 car. Now, the person with good credit, with a 730 score, pays an interest rate of 1.99. That's an interest rate of 1.99%. Now, the person with poor credit in this example, that's a sub 600 score, has a 599 score. So the other person has 730, one has 599. The higher the better, right? So the 599 has an interest rate of 14.99%. And that's coming directly from this car insurance, from this auto company. So they're going to pay 14.99% for this $23,000 car financed over 66 months. Good credit pays 1.99%. Guess how much the difference in payment is? The person with the 730 score, the good score, pays $368 a month. The person with the bad score pays $514 a month. It's a difference of $146 basically every month. $146.75 to be exact if I gave you all the cents. So it's $145.75. Now, some of you guys out there, you got bad credit, but you're ballers. So it doesn't matter to you. It's like, oh, it's just $145 a month. But it's $145 a month for you, and the fact that your insurance is going to be higher because your credit score is bad as well. So then that's additional money tacked on to that $145 difference. So at the end of the day, the person with the 730 score pays at the end of the term, at the end of 66 months, they pay $24,302 for that car. Same car, same everything about the car, 66 months. The person with the bad credit or the poor credit at the 599 score, they pay $33,921 for the exact same car. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm mad if the other guy gets a spoiler and some placemats put in their car, and I don't get that in mine. So I would definitely be mad if I had to pay $33,921 and somebody else only paid $24,302. And the difference in between, so I'll do the math for you guys. The difference in between, the person with the bad credit paid $9,619 more for the exact same car, simply because their credit was bad. They had a sub 600 score, poor score. They were able to get finance, and that's how a lot of us are. We're just happy to get finance. I don't care what the interest rate is. I'm just happy to get a car. And they paid $9,619 more than the other person. And think about it like this. Would you have walked in there? Would you have walked in that place and said, yes, I'll take this car, and I'll actually pay $9,600 more for the car than, you're going to sell it to somebody else? Of course not. Of course you wouldn't. So you've got to think of it in that way. You've really got to change your mindset to thinking that, your credit doesn't matter. It absolutely matters. So it's important that you move on. You move from that bad credit and that bad credit mentality and start to improve your credit score. And it doesn't always have to cost you money. People think about it all the time. They think it's going to cost me money to, get rid of some collections and do different things on my credit report, and not necessarily the case. You need a professional that'll help you navigate those things. Again, I'm not only the host of this show, I do restore people's credit. So contact me at 800-CreditScoreMan@gmail.com. Again, that's 800-CreditScoreMan@gmail.com. And look, we are running down to the end of the show. It has happened so quickly. I want to tell you again that I had another example for you about a house that somebody was buying, with an example of a $200,000 home and what good credit versus bad credit. But we're running up against the clock, so I'm not going to get to that. Look at me, follow me on Instagram, 800 Credit Score Man on Instagram. Follow me on my Facebook page. I'm going to put that information out for you guys, because before I get out of here, I've got to do what? I've got to do the credit score kiss, and that's keep it smart and simple. And this week's credit score kiss is I want you to go to my website. My website is www.creditscoreman.com. Go there and sign up for the 5-day free credit challenge. It's free, totally free, 5 days. You'll get an email from me each day And on the fourth and fifth day are really the meat. You get into your own specific situation. So